So the definition is saying irrigation is the artificial application of water to the land or soil. Means when the rainfall is insufficient, the sources of water are not close to the farmland or to the soil which needs to be grown, which needs to be cultivated with plants or crops, is not having abundant rainfall or sufficient rainfall, let's say. Then what we are doing, we are providing irrigation water. Irrigation water, let's say just irrigation, we are making provision of irrigation over there in order to have the growth of crop or the growth of plant over there. The artificial application is called as irrigation. The man-made application of water, the man-made provision of water for the growth of plant, for the growth of crops, is called as irrigation. This is what the technical definition of irrigation. Simply artificial application of water to the soil or land. Now what are the advantages or what is the purpose of having irrigation? It is used to assist the growth of crop in farm and maintenance of landscape and revegetation of disturbed soils in dry areas and during periods of inadequate rainfall. In order to reclaim a land which has gone barren, we can have irrigation over there so that the land can be reclaimed, the land can again grow some plants or some crops. Okay, let's move to the next topic, which is necessity of irrigation. Why we are providing irrigation? What is the need of providing irrigation for some area, for a specific region? See, the very first point, the first and the foremost thing you should remember, that whenever a area is hit with low rainfall intensities or low rainfall quantities, we are having the irrigation established over there. Means insufficient rainfall is the first reason behind having irrigation. Okay, irrigation is provided when rainfall is scanty, rainfall is less, intensity is less. Okay, then uneven distribution of rainfall means intense rainfall is okay, rainfall is there, but its intensity, its distribution may be there. Okay, for example, in the orographic precipitation, you might be remembering that the rain shadow region, okay, the region of land which is behind the mountain doesn't get any water. Therefore a reason may be there that uneven distribution of rainfall may be there. Okay, then improvement of perennial crop. Perennial crop means we can cultivate, we can have crop or plants throughout the length of year, throughout the span of year. Means we can have our crop cultivation throughout the year 365 days total. Means we do not have to rely on the rainy season for the growth of crop. Therefore we can have improved perennial crop by providing irrigation. Okay, this is the third point. And development of agriculture in desert area. See, it is nearly not possible to have crop, to have plants in a desert area, but by some means, if we take water over there, if we cultivate some land over there, if we take useful soil over there, and if we provide irrigation over there, then we can develop agriculture in even desert areas. Okay, this is the point number 4. So what are the benefits of irrigation? Increase in crop yield means overall production of crop increases when we are providing the water artificially. Then protection from famine. Famine means lack of food, lack of water, lack of overall production of agriculture is called as what? Famine. Okay, the protection from famine can be given by irrigation. Okay, then cultivation of superior crop, the crop that require more water content, more moisture content for their growth, can be assured with the help of irrigation only. Means we can irrigate the lands in order to have the superior crops. Okay, then elimination of mixed cropping. See, throughout the span of year, okay, only at the time of rainfall, only at the time of rainy season, the better crops can be cultivated. Means the main crop regarding that soil, for example, cotton in black cotton soil can be taken when the rainfall is sufficient. Means only when rainwater is there, we are having that dependency on that specific 4 months of the year. But when we are having the water supplies throughout the year, we can eliminate the mixed crop. Means mixed cropping means taking 2 or 3 multiple crops depending on what amount of rainwater we are receiving. Okay, means we can eliminate the old fashioned mixed cropping thing and we can have the maximum cultivation of superior crop throughout the year when we are having irrigation. Okay, then economic development, overall economic development of that region, of that village, of that city, of that state, of that nation will take place only when artificial supplies of water, that is irrigation, will be provided over there. Then hydropower generation. Obviously, when we are talking about irrigation, we are talking about dam project, reservoir project, bandara is there, bandh is there, all the things are there. Means we can store water and we can later use it for crop cultivation. And along with crop cultivation, what we can have, we can have hydropower generation over there. We can get a canal, we can separate out a canal, and on that canal, along the slope of the canal, we can have a hydroelectric power plant. And that's why hydroelectric power generation can also be taken, can also be produced over there. Okay, hydroelectric power can also be produced on the same theme of irrigation. Okay, then domestic and industrial water supply. Now see, when irrigation is there, when dam is there, when canals are there, a good network of canals is there, it will not be limited for farming, it will not be limited for agriculture purposes, it will be having its due benefits for domestic and industrial water supply as well. Therefore this is the another added benefit of irrigation. Okay, this hydropower generation and domestic and industrial water supply are the added benefits, the extra benefits of irrigation, indirect benefits of irrigation. Now whichever thing you say has its good side and the bad side. Okay, the pros and the cons. Okay, therefore we are now looking at ill effects of irrigation. Means what are the bad effect because of irrigation? Rising of water table. For example, groundwater table is there, okay, and because of irrigation, continuous ponding of water will be taking place, continuous storage of water will be taking place. That's why what is going to happen, the overall water table, for example, this is the ground layer we are talking about. Okay, okay, let's have blue pen over here. So groundwater table will be there, and because of continuous ponding of water, this water will be percolating itself through the soil layer, and the growth, the increase in groundwater table will take place, and this leads to the formation of marshy land. Marshy land means the land which is continuously ponded with water, and thus the overall soil level, the soil quality gets deteriorated and marshy land forms over there. Okay, मराठीत ज्याला दलदल म्हणतात. Okay, dampness in weather, the overall moisture level in the atmosphere is going to increase. Okay, and since moisture level is increasing, it invites some kind of diseases. Okay, the growth of mosquitoes will be there, the growth of insect will be there. Means overall the ecological balance that was previously in that area is going to get deteriorated. Then loss of valuable land. See, when irrigation is there, dam is going to be there, dam is going to be constructed, then canal network will need to be established over there. Okay, and all these appurtenances, all the joint ventures that are coming with irrigation, canals are there, then dams are there, land will be required for construction of and establishment of reservoir will be there, ponds will be there. Okay, for all these appurtenances we are going to require land, and many times it happens that the canal needs to be laid down through someone's farm. Okay, that specific farmer is going to suffer because of the irrigation. But see, we need to take a look at the wider aspect of irrigation. Irrigation brings development, irrigation brings more cultivation, irrigation brings overall economic development. That's why instead of looking at this 3 to 4 ill effects, we need to look at the bright side of irrigation. Okay, now let's see what the next topic is. Okay, now methods of irrigation. The first one is surface irrigation, then subsurface irrigation, sprinkler and trickle irrigation. Okay, first one we are going to take a look at surface irrigation, and in surface irrigation there are 4 to 5 methods, which is uncontrolled flooding method, then border strip method, then basin method, then furrow method. Okay, now let's take a look at surface irrigation methods. Okay, what surface irrigation is saying, in all the surface methods of irrigation, water is either ponded, means stock on the soil, or allowed to flow continuously over the soil surface for the duration of irrigation. Means we are literally letting the water flow over the land which needs to be irrigated. Okay, it does not result in high levels of performance. Obviously we are just wildly, we are just uncontrolled, in uncontrolled manner we are letting the water flow over the land. That's why it will not properly percolate in the soil, it will not reach to the roots of the plant properly, and most of the part will be evaporated back to the atmosphere. That's why it does not result in high level of performance. Okay, this is mainly because uncertain infiltration rates. Yes, we just talked about this, that the water will not be percolated properly. The water will not be getting retained inside the soil properly, which are affected by year-to-year changes in cropping pattern, cultivation practices, climate factor, and many other factor. Means the wild flooding method is prone to many disadvantage because of the change in cropping pattern, change in type of crop, change in amount of crop, then cultivation practices of that region, of that state, of that country, then climate factor of that region, and there are many other factors that are going to affect the surface irrigation efficiency. Then uncontrolled flooding is there. When water is applied to the cropland without any preparation of land, means the land will not be plowed properly, there will not be any grooves that will be guiding the water for the entry in the farmland, and without any levees, means without any border to guide or restrict the flow, means there will not be any control established on the water which is being provided to the farmland. Okay, this method is called as uncontrolled, wild, or free flooding. Okay, uncontrolled flooding generally result in excess irrigation. Obviously you are not having control over there, you are not having any proper regulation for flow of water over there, there is no bordering, there is no proper channelizing system. That's why what is going to happen, the water which is flowing inside the farm will cause just flooding of water over there. Okay, ponding will take place, no proper irrigation is going to take place. Efficiency of the irrigation is going to reduce because of deep percolation or flowing away of water from the field. See, there are two chances. Either the farmland, for example, this is the level of farm we are talking about, and in some region if the depression is there, water is going to get collected in that zone and deep percolation will take place. And if the land is too much leveled, if the land is perfectly flat, the water is going to flow away, it will not percolate below, so that the plants will be availing the benefit of irrigated water. Okay, this is the problem with respect to uncontrolled flooding. So now we are looking at the border strip method. Okay, now in border strip method or the border strip irrigation, we are providing a controlled, a channelized manner in order to flood the farm. Okay, means in uncontrolled farming method, the problem was with ponding and there was no control over the quantity and quality of irrigation. But in border strip irrigation or simply border irrigation, we are having borders, we are having strips inside the farm that are going to properly channelize the water to go inside the farm to properly irrigate the plants. Okay, now the border strip method is suited to soil of moderately low to moderately high intake rate and low erodibility. Erodibility means the extent of erosion. Okay, for example, if you just let a water quantity flow in the farm, and what will happen if the slope is there, okay, if the steep slope is there, then the water will be carrying along with the soil particle in the farm. Means low erodibility should be there in order to have the uncontrolled flooding method or the border strip method. Otherwise the loss of soil is going to take place, the loss of useful soil is going to take place when you are carrying out such methods of irrigation. This method however requires preparation of land. Exactly, obviously, when you are saying that you need to have some channels, some grooves over there, some border or some strips over there, then you need to first prepare the farm prior to the irrigation practices. Then and only then you can properly establish the border strip method irrigation over there. Okay, this is how the border strip irrigation method looks. On the upper strips, what we have done, we have planted the crops. Okay, and the channels, the grooves, the borders, means in between the border the water is allowed to flow. Okay, the water will drip itself, the water is going to percolate itself in the layers of soil, and then the plants which are planted on the border, the strips, are going to avail the available water. Okay, so let's see check method. See, the check method of irrigation is based on rapid application of irrigation water to a level or nearly level area completely enclosed by dikes. Simply, let's say if you are having a farmland like this, then the whole area is going to get distributed into grid. Okay, and this specific grid will be watered, means will be irrigated, and each grid is provided with some certain amount of same level of water. Okay, because of this grid, the water distribution, okay, the water distribution, the water quantity, the water level, the water quality, all the things are going to be in control. Okay, see, this is how the check irrigation is taking place. The grids are there and the grids are having some opening, each grid having some opening, and through the main canal inside the farm, okay, through the filled canal, the grids are filled up with water. Okay, the grids are getting filled up with water. This is how check irrigation takes place. Then basin method. See, basin method, as the name is suggesting, there will be a basin. Obviously, the name is basin method. There will be a basin, and inside the basin, the plant, the crop that needs to be cultivated is planted. Okay, the plant is sown. In one single basin, one single plant is sown, and this specific method is useful for fruit bearing plants. Okay, for apple, for mangoes, for chicus, all the fruit bearing plants have their best irrigation advantage when we are carrying out the basin method for them. Okay, because it is not possible for small crops to have a single basin and single crop sown into that basin. Okay, means for the plants, for the crops, when the distance required in between the two plants is more, the basin method can be suitably availed over there. Okay, then the furrow method is there. In this method, we distribute some small channel inside the farm itself in order to have water be flowing inside the farmland. Okay, this small channel are termed as furrows or creases or corrugations. In the diagram, it will be clear. See, small strips are made available for carrying of water, carriage of water, and the major strips are allocated for planting, for cultivation, for sowing the plants. Okay, this is what furrow method. Then subsurface irrigation. Subsurface irrigation, or simply which is called as sub irrigation, is the practice of applying water to soil directly under the surface. Moisture do reach the plant roots through capillary action. The condition which favor sub irrigation are as follow. See, what are the requirements of availing subsurface irrigation? Impervious subsoil at a depth of 2 meter or more. The soil at the depth of 2 meters should be impervious. Okay, then a very permeable subsoil, means the upper layer should be very permeable. Then a permeable loam or sandy loam surface soil. Then uniform topographic condition and moderate ground slope, means the steep slope will not be useful when we are going for subsurface irrigation. Okay, now let's see what subsurface irrigation methods are. The first one is sprinkler irrigation. Okay, it is the method of applying water to the soil surface in form of spray, which is somewhat similar to rain. Means having a artificial rain at a very small height inside the farm itself is the method of irrigation of sprinkler irrigation. Okay, rotating sprinkler head system are commonly used for sprinkler irrigation. Okay, the sprinkler not only rotate along the axis but also change the intensity of throw. Okay, means for example, this is the sprinkler we are talking about, then it will be having its spray, it will be having its sprinkle along the area that it is going to cover. Okay, each rotating sprinkler head applies water to a given area, size of which is governed by the nozzle size and the water pressure. More the water pressure, more will be the throw of sprinkler. Okay, then alternatively, perforated pipe can be used to deliver water through a very small hole which are drilled at close interval along a segment of the circumference of the pipe. Okay, either you can have pinholes on the pipe itself, or you can have nozzle system that is going to cause artificial rain like simulation in the farm itself. Okay, sprinkler have been used on all types of soil on lands of different topography and slopes, and for many crops. The following conditions are favorable for sprinkler irrigation. Okay, the required condition for having sprinkler irrigation are very pervious soil which do not permit good distribution of water by surface method. Then land which have steep slope and easily erodible soils. Then irrigation channels which are too small to distribute water efficiently by surface irrigation, and lands with shallow soil and undulating lands which prevent proper leveling required for surface method of irrigation. See, whatever the methods of irrigation we saw previously are totally unsuitable for the condition which are given for Sprinkler irrigation. Okay, sprinkler irrigation is the only one that can work in erodible soil, also on slope, also on soil which are more prone to get eroded. Okay, and the soil which are having their low thickness, okay, which are not having the thickness of proper level. Okay, so let's see the diagram. The pump provides the water to the sprinkler irrigation system, and the pump creates the pressure so that the sprinkler nozzle can properly distribute the water to the farmland. Okay, the pressure control valve is there. The nozzle ejects the water, and the rotary action of the nozzle makes sure that all the area near the sprinkler head properly gets the water. Okay, but the problems are still there when we are saying that even in erodible soil, even on steep slope, we can have sprinkler irrigation, but still there are a problem with sprinkler irrigation that we are going to see in next slides. Advantage, let's first see the bright side. Low water loss. Okay, whatever the water is sprinkled on the land totally reaches to the roots of the plant. Okay, totally gets percolated in the effective soil area. Then saving in fertilizer. We can, yes, this is the another added advantage of mixing the fertilizer in the water itself. The water which is meant to be sprinkled over the farm is mixed first in the water tank. Okay, the source of water is mixed with fertilizer or pesticide or both the things. Okay, then we can spray the water, means the each water droplet will be carrying the fertilizer which reaches the root of plant. Okay, the fertilizer doesn't get wasted when we are spraying it manually on the farmland. Okay, then it is suitable for any topography, any kind of land, any kind of slope. It is very much suitable. Then the sprinkling effect, the rainwater simulation effect, do not cause any soil erosion even if the soil is erodible. What will happen? The water droplet will be causing some impact on the soil, and thus the soil will be getting compacted on the specific area. Means it will not flow away in case when we were providing the uncontrolled flooding kind of irrigation type. Okay, then better seed germination and free aeration of root zone. See, because of this natural simulation of rainwater, the germination of seed is better. Okay, and free aeration of root zone takes place because the impacting water droplet are going to cause the aeration along the root zone. Then uniform application of water. Yes, if you properly design the sprinkler irrigation system, then you can have uniform application of water in your farmland. Okay, now let's see the dark side. Yes, high initial cost. The pump, the tank, the total setup, the total pipes, the total lining up, the total channelization of the whole system is kind of laborsome, is kind of cumbersome, and it puts strain on the budget of the farmer. Means it is not affordable for ordinary farmer. Okay, poor application efficiency in wind weather. Yes, when wind is there, when prevailing winds are there, when high strength of wind is there, the wind is going to cause loss in the efficiency of sprinkled water, because the wind will be carrying away all the water which is being sprinkled over the farmland. And high temperature. Yes, when the temperature is high, the soil underneath will be heating, and now when you are talking about sprinkling water on the such hot soil, the instant the water touches the soil, it is going to get evaporated. That's why high temperature and strong wind is a enemy of sprinkler water irrigation system. High evaporation losses. Yes, in summer season, if you carry out this practice, if you carry out this artificial rain simulator or simply the sprinkle irrigation system, then evaporation is definitely will be there. Then water should be free of debris. Yes, whatever the water you are storing in the tank for the application of water or application of irrigation water to the plant, the water should be perfectly pure. Also, we talked about mixing the fertilizer. Then the fertilizer also need to be mixed properly so that there will not be any precipitate or there will not be any hard particle that will get stuck in the sprinkler system. If the particle is getting stuck in the nozzle of the sprinkler, the nozzle is not going to work. That's why the efficiency, that specific zone will get dried out. Okay, then physical damage to the crop by application of high intensity spray. Yes, this thing needs to be controlled. Means when we are talking about high pressure pump in order to deliver the water through the nozzle, then we need to take care that the pressure should be maintained such that it will not be impacting the root zone, or it will not be impacting the overall zone of plant. Okay, otherwise delicate crops are going to get impacted, they are going to get hurt because of the application of high intensity spray. So this was sprinkler irrigation, and we saw the method, the advantages and the disadvantages. For next we are having trickle or drip irrigation, ज्याला मराठीमध्ये ठिबक सिंचन असे म्हणतात. So trickle irrigation system comprises of main line, submains, lateral wall in order to control the flow, then drippers or emitters, pressure gauges, water meter, filter, pumps, fertilizer tank, vacuum pressure regulator, God, so on. There are so many components in the trickle drip irrigation. Therefore, we can predict the thing that it is not a budget friendly thing. Okay, for ordinary farmer, trickle irrigation or drip irrigation or the sprinkle irrigation is kind of out of budget thing. But in case of trickle irrigation, if the proper maintenance is taken, then the only thing which is there, that the initial budget, the initial costing will be there, and the lifelong maintenance is low if you properly plan out, if you properly program this trickle or drip irrigation. But for sure, initial budget of both the things, trickle irrigation and the sprinkler irrigation, is very high. Okay, the drippers are designed to supply water at the desired rate 1 to 10 liters per hour directly to the soil. Low pressure heads at the emitter are considered adequate as the soil capillary forces cause the emitted water to spread laterally and vertically. Yes, what is there in trickle or drip irrigation? For example, this is the farmland we are talking about, and very near to the farmland or over the farmland itself, there will be pipes. Okay, and pipes will be having some tiny holes, and through the tiny holes water continuously drip very near to the crop itself. That's why the pressure required in case of trickle or drip irrigation is low as compared to the sprinkler irrigation. Okay, then okay, yes, this is the line sketch of typical drip irrigation system. Check wall is there, gate wall is there, and filter is there. Yes, filter is required, because if filter is not there, the problem will be that a specific hole inside the pipe of this drip irrigation system will get choked up, and it will cause the total stoppage, the total halting of the irrigation, and thus it will cause drying out of the total zone which is meant to be supplied with water. Okay, then advantages. Yes, low water loss. Obviously we are directly taking a drop of water to the root zone of plant. That's why the required water quantity is very much less than whatever the previous method we saw. Okay, then yes, it will save water. Then enhances plant growth and plant yield. Since we are talking about delivering the water droplet at the very root zone of plants, we are enhancing the plant growth and overall efficiency of plant. Overall cultivation will be good. Then it is saving labor and energy. Yes, there is one time investment, it is there, one time programming, one time designing, one time laying, installation is there, and you have to reap the benefits for so long time. That's why it is going to save labor and energy as well. Then control weed growth. Yes, the excess of water is not spreading on the other areas of the farmland. That's why water will not be wasted, first thing, and the excess water which is unavailable in this case will not cause any extra growth of undesirable plants in the farmland. Okay, no soil erosion. See, no pressure is there, no sprinkling is there, no uncontrolled flooding is there. We are talking about drop by drop irrigation here. That's why erosion chances are very much less. It improves the fertilizer application efficiency. Yes, when we are mixing the fertilizer and or pesticide in the tank which is going to supply the water through this drip irrigation system, it will be carrying a single drop which is full of fertilizer to the root zone. Means there will not be wastage of the fertilizer. Okay, that's why it will result into improved fertilizer application efficiency. Alright, the dark side of drip irrigation. High skill in design, installation and subsequent operation. Yes, high budget, high finance, high skill, high skill in installation and subsequent operation. The farmer needs to be trained regarding the maintenance of this drip irrigation, or also in the case of sprinkler irrigation, the programming, the proper channelizing, the whole system needs to be learned by the farmer in order to have the system run smoothly in his farmland. Then clogging of small conduits and opening. Okay, if the nozzles are getting clogged with particle of sand or clay or any debris, let's say, what is going to happen, that specific nozzle is going to get choked and the surrounding plants are going to get dried up, and the farmer needs to continuously inspect, supervise the nozzle for any blockage. Okay, then not suitable for closely planted crops such as wheat and other cereal grains. See, it is not suitable when the plants, when the crop is meant to be sown in a very close proximity to each other. Okay, at that case, free flooding, check flooding or other method of irrigation are suitable, or even sprinkler method is suitable, but not specifically this drip irrigation is suitable. Then let's talk about quality of irrigation water. How irrigation water should be, ideal irrigation water should be, how it should be. It should not have direct or indirect undesirable effect on the health of human being, animals and plants. Means the water that we are supplying to plants should be safe for ingestion of plants as well as animals as well as human beings. Then irrigation water must not damage the soil. Okay, it should be safe for the soil also. It should not endanger the quality of surface and groundwater with which it comes into contact. See, if you are mixing too much mineral, if you are mixing too much fertilizer in the irrigation water, then what is going to happen? All the minerals which are present in the irrigation water are going to drip down, are going to the groundwater level with the help of capillary action, and all the mineral are going to get mixed with the groundwater, and groundwater has its own composition, and when you are artificially mixing some mineral, the overall balance of the groundwater nature is going to get disturbed. Okay, that's why the irrigation water should be safe for plants, animals, human, also the soil and also the groundwater table which is present in the farmland. Then presence of toxic substance. Yes, it should not contain any toxicity at all. It should not be poisonous, it should not be toxic. Okay, then surface water, groundwater and suitably treated wastewater are generally used for irrigation purpose. Okay, we can also have properly treated wastewater. Okay, if you are talking about growing tomatoes or cabbages or let's say spinach, then the best growth you can observe when you are providing a properly treated wastewater. Okay, they will grow in abundance when you are providing wastewater only. Okay, the various types of impurities which make the water unfit for irrigation. Okay, what irrigation water should not contain? Irrigation water should not contain any sediment concentration. Then any soluble salt should not be present, because when you are observing that soluble salts are present in the irrigation water, then after some years when you are continuously applying such water for farming in a land, then the crust of salt will take place on the farmland, and thus it is going to render the whole farmland barren. Then the proportion of sodium ions to other ions. See, sodium ion, if it is present in abundance, means salt, if they are present in abundance in such irrigation water, then they are going to form some other else compound, and these compounds may not be suitable to the crop, to the soil and to the groundwater which is present below the surface. Concentration of potentially toxic element. See, toxins should be absent. Then bacterial contamination. It should be free from any harmful, any bacteria. Okay,